Hi, and welcome to the Tax Goddess Tips, Episode 3. My name is Shauna Weckerlein, and I am the Tax Goddess, and we're here today again with our fabulous bankruptcy attorney, Miss Janet Spears. Janet is here to tell us today why or what the differences are between debt consolidation and bankruptcy. So tell us what you know, Janet.
Well, in my opinion, debt consolidation does not work.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
You see these companies on television that will consolidate your debts, help you get out of debt, negotiate payments with your creditors.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Absolutely.
Got to think again.
Ooh.
What they tell you up front is, stop paying your credit card bills. Okay. Don't pay the credit card, send us money. When you will make payments to the debt consolidation company for maybe a year. And they tell you, once we build up a pot of money, then we'll start negotiating with all your creditors. Sounds great. Let somebody else worry about my problems. What they don't tell you is the creditor can take action against you during that time period where you're trying to build up that pot of money with the debt consolidator.
Got it.
So let's say you're 6 months into this debt consolidation deal. You've been paying $500 a month. You've got some money put away. All of a sudden you get served with a lawsuit from a credit card company.
Oh no.
Hey, you haven't paid them in a year. They want their money.
Uh-oh.
So you call up the debt consolidator and say, hey, we need to take care of this. I'm being sued. And they tell you, well, you need to file an answer to the complaint. Go down to your local courthouse where the complaint was filed and file an answer.
And you as an individual are supposed to know how to do this.
Yes, they cannot give you legal advice, and they'll tell you up front, we don't give legal advice.
There you go.
So there you are, stuck. Now, not only are you just don't have a problem with the creditor calling you, you now have an attorney on the other side going after you.
And you have $3,000 less money because you've given it to the debt consolidation people.
That's right.
Oh no. Okay.
And they're not going to negotiate that debt at that time because you haven't paid up to a prearranged amount. Say they want $20,000 from you or $10,000, and then they'll start negotiating. So you're on your own. You run the risk of the creditor suing you in the meantime.
Sure.
And
so you
debt consolidator does not offer you legal help.
And I was just about to say, so I'm sure there's no contract between the debt consolidator and you personally, or if there is, I'm sure it's plastered all over. No legal advice, no this, no that.
Right.
Oh my.
Another thing is, the debt consolidation company it's not guaranteed that each creditor is going to accept the arrangements. You may have one or two creditors who say, absolutely not. I'm not negotiating. You're stuck paying that bill.
And you've spent a bunch of money with the debt consolidators and everything else. I'm sure their fees are going to be in there too.
That's right.
So, okay.
Also, you have a tax liability. Let's say you go through this debt consolidation and they are able to say you had a total of $10,000 in debt and they're able to get it paid off for you for $5,000. Great. You're going to get a 1099-C from the creditor for the amount that you did not have to pay, the amount that was forgiven.
Which can be very
or
deadly.
Canceled.
Yeah. Oh, no.
So you may get out from under one bill, but then you're facing a bill from Uncle Sam.
Well, and Uncle Sam tends to be a tough bird to deal with.
Yes, he does.
There you go. Well, and this is one of the things that I've heard, is that when you get those 1099-Cs, it can be very deadly to your tax return. Because unless you have a professional CPA who knows how to deal with that debt cancellation, you can run into a problem.
That's right, you can, and you've got to pay those taxes.
Oh, yes. So one of my interesting questions is, I've seen a lot of television commercials and radio commercials from these debt consolidation people that say, oh, of course everyone will work with us, and we've worked with all the different creditors. And do you know of any of the creditors that are plain out not bargaining?
Actually, I haven't really heard of much that have been successful.
Really?
Most of them, a lot of them will work with you, but the longer you've dragged them out, the less likely they are to work with you.
So really, it's much better to get in there in advance and say, listen, I'm having some problems, I need some help, so just be upfront and honest, and they're much more likely to work out with you.
Right.
Fabulous.
Right.
Wonderful.
And another thing is, many of these debt consolidators are subsidized by creditors and the financial industry. So their allegiance lies with the creditor.
I was going to say, they're not really playing for the right ball team.
No, they're not.
Oh my. Well, all the good bits in life. So in other words, as usual, make sure that you talk to a qualified professional like yourself, get some of your options, learn about the different things that you really need to know from someone who is not trying to help you or hurt you or whatever,
Correct.
but someone who is actually on your team.
That's
and
right.
is truly on your team.
That's right. Under bankruptcy, all your creditors have to accept the bankruptcy and the fact that they may not get any money or may get just 10 cents on the dollar.
So it's not like
It's not
half of the
voluntary.
bank. Yeah, it's
That's
not
right.
voluntary.
Right. They
Oh,
have
okay.
to accept it. You're not 1099 in a bankruptcy for the amount of debt that's written off. It's forgiven. It goes away. You have no liability
That's
for it,
it, you're
including
done.
tax liability.
So I have heard of cases before where clients have gone through bankruptcy, but they have received 1099s. Now I know from a tax perspective, there is a special form that we can use that makes that disappear on the tax-related arena. Are there any legal problems with creditors doing something like that? Providing a 1099 when they're not supposed to?
No, they are permitted to file that to give you give you a 1099 for that amount.
Okay.
The 1099 debt can be forgiven under the Mortgage Act that Obama.
Right, the newest tax
Yes,
rules.
right. So if you short sale your home and you sell it for $50,000 less than what you owe, you'll get a 1099 from your lender, but you as the accountant know the appropriate form to file
There you go.
to eliminate
Form
that debt.
982. All right, so the biggest point of it is make sure that you're going to qualified people, lawyers,
Qualified
tax
people.
accountants,
Right.
qualified people with all of their designations, no problems against them, anything like that, making
Correct.
sure they're asking for qualified advice.
Correct.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Janet.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And stay tuned for episode 4, where will be unfortunately our last episode with the fabulous Miss Janet Spears next week, talking about the next question on bankruptcy. So stay tuned. So just wanted to make sure that you guys stay tuned for next week's episode. We will still be with Miss Janet Spears and answering more questions about bankruptcy.